First of all, welcome back to the channel. We're still working on our freaking 93, or it's not, what am I talking? Still working on the 95 Civic hatch, affectionately known as junk. We are in the midst of buttoning up a bunch of crap. However, the last episode, we found out that we needed some parts. I was under the impression that this ktuned lower coolant reservoir would completely delete the coolant pipe that comes up and goes back to the heater core. Once I realized that I was delusional, I ordered the parts, and unfortunately I just got the notification from K-Series Parts that they're back ordered. We're just gonna keep doing other things until then. So I'm not gonna do anything with the top. I could probably make a hose here that kind of does something, but I can't do anything without the manifold, and quite frankly I don't want to try and deal with that piece with the manifold off, because my luck is I'll put the manifold on and then that piece is going to be a pain in the ass to put in. So I'm just going to hold off on that, which means I'm holding off on the charge pipe and the upper radiator hose. So all that's going to wait. So we're going to go look at our list of crap we need to do, and we're going to try to address as much as we can. So I know that there's a bunch of stuff in the rear of the car that we need to address. One of those being the captive nuts. Alright, so in the back of the car here, we've got these bolts, and these bolts have this, as you can see, this nut on it. That nut is not supposed to spin. That's supposed to be welded to the car, and I'm not sure why they were broken free, but when I bought the car, they were. So we're gonna put some tacks on it, on the sides of it, to try and get it to sit still, and then we gotta do the other side as well. The other thing we gotta do is we gotta finish installing the e-brake cables that go up and into the back of the car. We need to get all those bolted in the way they should. The driver's side needs the toe link bolted in, and I've been saying this for a couple videos, so we're doing it now. And if time permits, we're gonna do some research on that. Maybe go get some metal. We'll get that figured out, and then maybe tomorrow I'll weld it in. So if not, we'll try to do that one tomorrow. So right now, we're just focusing on the rear parts, rear half of the car, get the e-brake sorted, and that should be enough for right this minute. So we're gonna go ahead and get this, get the welder over here, get set up, hammer it out real quick. Alright, so the rear parts are welded. That's something that I've been trying to do for a while, but just haven't gotten to. But now it's done. For the inside, we need to consider a couple things. Let me refresh your memory on what's going on the inside. So the inside, previous owner clearly wasn't a fan of having anything in their way when it came to mounting a, a big K-series shifter, whether it be a K-tuned style one like this or a stock one. Normally there's a little hole that the boot, the shifter kind of sticks up to, and you're not really left with a bunch of room. But so there's a couple different options. Normally they do like a drop box, then it sits down in here, but I really don't want to spend any more money than I have to. So what I was thinking was cutting this out. These are our cables right here, and that puts the box right about here. So it kind of does this number, which puts you, I mean, in normal range of you know, shifting, you know, and there's some adjustment on this to lower it and stuff, but this is kind of your area here. But the idea of it was to just make some more mounting points right here. So put a plate up here that this thing could sit on, and you know, go from there. So basically kind of come up, over, down with some I don't know if 1/8 inches be too much, but basically just make a top, like a cover, weld it in, seam seal it, sort of deal. And then yeah, so that we'd have that. We can also just weld in a flat plate, and then if we ever wanted to go do something else, we can cut out whatever we need later, which is also an option. I just need to get some, I think this is like 1/8 inch. This is like 3/32 is probably what it is, but it's already been cut, so we're gonna try and fix it to what we can and put it back together. But I'm thinking keeping these two these two bolt spots would be ideal, and then go from there. So tomorrow, that would be tomorrow's task, and we'll get metal on the way home. We'll be ready to rock on the shifting and the brakes. Other than the calipers. Calipers are on the way. They're taking their merry time. They should be here by Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. But yeah, some complications with that. We got to switch gears towards the end of the week, but it's a different thing. Tomorrow we'll get some metal. We'll continue this video. Be back. Alright, so we're back in the garage for day 2 of this video. We picked up some 16 gauge sheet metal so we could start working on plugging up the hole in the center console. So like I said, previous owner for whatever reason decided to cut out the entire center area, so we're gonna work on making a template and cutting a sheet out of this and welding it in. I also have some 1/8 inch plate somewhere in this general vicinity that we can use to add structure if that's not good enough. So we're gonna start working on that right now. So you saw we just cut out a plate, and the idea here is we're going to take this plate, we're going to put it right about there, and then we'll do some tacks and kind of hammer it around this little curve here. Right here, there's a little low spot, Something like that right there. But I want it to be kind of flush on the tunnel. Yeah, something like that right there. So let's just hit it. So it's not the prettiest thing in the world. Like, obviously I could do a lot better, but with what I got, which is Harbor Freight, and yeah, it's okay. I did do a plug weld right there, and I just did what I had to make it hold. Looks like it'll do. It ain't the best, it ain't the prettiest, but we're gonna do seam sealant on the other side to seal it, so it's gonna have to do. Now, I feel like I need to constantly remind people too, this car is not going to be show car. This is not going to be Jimmy Oaks or Adam LZ. It's not going to have a nice paint job. It's not going to be whatever. The only thing this thing gets is good parts. It's not going to be, I mean, this car, look. It's got dents here. It's got a massive dent there. Big old fist-sized dent right there. This side I haven't even dug into, but I can tell you it's not good because it's got a good 1/4 inch of Bondo right there. Some rust in this quarter. Car is clean titled, but it's been heavily molested. So the only reason why we got this car was because it was cheap and it was K-ready. So the only thing I had to do was put my car in and do a couple things. Or put my engine in and do a couple things. So that's why we gutted it. That's why we did the things we did. It's even why we got rid of like the seat belts. And this is going tuned. The only thing we're keeping is that. The plastic pieces right here. Just so we aren't killing ourselves on this little lip. And we're going to put some different seats in it with a cage. Eventually. We're trying to get the cage thing sorted now to figure out what we're going to do, whether it be pay a shop or do it ourselves. If we do it ourselves, I do not want to use this Harbor Freight welder, but it's a car, it's a runner. We're not keeping much besides the dash, which isn't even in the best of shape, so don't yell at me. The wiring was shot in this car. The only thing that's decent is the shell in general. The suspension needed a lot of work. So, whatever. It's the reason why I don't feel bad about doing the things I'm doing to this car, because to me, it's much more fun and valuable to me to have a car that I can drive and beat the crap out of and modify and weld on and beat the shit out of, because I learned this way. It's what I call a door banger. So, you know, that's why the car's named Junk. It's kind of like a reminder to remind me that the car is nothing really special. It's just metal. So although it's got some trick parts and it's a cool car, in the end of the day it is just metal. So don't forget that. We're gonna let that cool, and then we'll remount the shifter in there. We'll mark some holes, we'll drill out a section, we'll do some rib nuts for whatever size thing we got there. We'll figure it out, and then we'll make some more holes to mount our shifter, and then the shifter will be ready. Also, another thing, when we're done, this thing's going to get bed linered inside, so it's not going to be beautiful in any way, shape, or form. Don't get attached. It's just a car. Give that a minute to cool. We'll go do some stuff. Alright, new day, back in the garage. We left off with letting that plate cool in the center console, and now we need to move on to finish mounting it. So I did pick up some hardware. This is an M8 by 1.25 thread. Pretty common. So I have rib nuts. I have a rib nut tool. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and drill a hole. However, we need to figure out how big this is so we can get the insert. So on these you have a smooth side and a knurled side, or a ribbed edge, and this ribbed edge is what you want biting the metal. So you want a good tight seal with those ribs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the smooth area with my digital calipers here, and I'm just going to get a rough measurement of what these are size-wise, so I know what size drill bits to use. So I got 10.8 millimeters. In inches, that's 0.42. So now I just got to do some math to try and figure out what we need. So if you had a decimal sizing chart, I think 325 is one of the fractions. I don't remember. 0.421875 is a 27/64, which is somewhere between 13/32 and a 7/16. Biggest bit I have, really, that's not too big, is a 3/8. If it Alright, so for now, here's our knockoff ktuned junk. I don't know about it. Honestly, I just wanted to buy a shifter. I got it for $100, and I figured that this was going to work just fine, considering this is what I needed, was this direct bolt-in option. So, welded it in. Or welded the plate there. We still got some holes and stuff like right here. I don't know exactly what we're gonna do yet with that, but we got some bigger fish to fry. The idea is I got some stuff. I got some stuff to figure out with the shifting pattern. I feel like this is just gonna be a way for me to start playing with the transmission and stuff. The existing the transmission that's in there is a 6-speed case with 5-speed internals. So it's got the 6-speed forks, so it's got the 3 forks, and then it has the reverse gear. The only thing it doesn't have is a 6-speed gear set. So the goal here is eventually to take my 0506 trans I have sitting over here. That's a 6-speed, and it has the shift tower, it has the internals, all that's good. The snout is busted on this transmission, so we're just going to take the gear stacks, not the diff, because that's what's different, is the way it does the whatever. You can convert that still, but take the gears, the shift tower, and the 0506 gear set, and swap it in to mine if we have a problem driving with what we got. Ideally, I would like to keep the 5-speed just because it's turbo ratio. It's less gear change. Eventually gets to the same thing, a little bit longer gears or taller gears. So yeah, I want to get that so you can load up easier and whatever. If you don't have RPM, if you don't have the gear, there's no point in making boosts. You're gonna just like whoops, 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 as opposed to 5 instead of 6, or yeah, 5 instead of 6 changes. So now let's cover the bases. We got the rear brakes almost sorted. As a matter of fact, since this took so long for me to get back to, we got calipers, but that's not going to be in this video. So we got to finish brake lines, we got to finish all the bolts and stuff, we got to torque everything. I got 2 subframe bolts we got to put in, and after that, the car should be able to be on the ground. We're still waiting on our ktuned plug parts for the coolant system, and hopefully those are going to ship next week. So a week or two after that would be good. And after that, home stretch, baby. But I think we're going to do brakes in the next video, finish the brakes in the next video, and maybe start a charge pipe. So, because now that I'm aware it's going to take 3 more weeks for us to get the engine fired up, we might as well start working on choo-choo noises. So I think this one's gone on long enough. Yeah, hit subscribe, like, comment, whatever, and let me know what you think of the build so far, other than the fact that obviously it's not a show car. It's, like I said, it's not meant to be. Thanks for watching. I almost just dropped the freaking camera, man. Oh my god, this $700 camera. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Later.